Boost Mobile is now legit nationwide 5G network. So I have to take a break from all the jokes here for just a second and put my serious voice on, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions in building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There's nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now legit nationwide 5G network and also provide coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speed, not available in all areas. Myles Garrett has requested a trade. As a kid, dreaming of the NFL, all I was focused on was the ultimate goal of winning the Super Bowl. And these goals fuel me today more than ever. While I love calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to come to Cleveland, go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I've requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Ocho.
I told you that was coming. Yeah. Didn't I tell you that? I told you that a few shows ago. I knew it was coming at some point. In order to compete for a Super Bowl, for one, defense, you can do all you do. You can do all you can. You can be the greatest defense end of all time. But until you have someone on the other side of that ball that gives you that chance and opportunity to reach a Lombardi or get there, he understands that. He understands that. And right now, his career, I wouldn't say it's going to waste because he's playing very well. He's playing very well. If he was to be, say if it was the end of the day, he's still a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. He's still a Hall of Famer. But he understands that in order to contend for contend for a Lombardi, a trophy, or even have a chance, you got to be in a position, for one, a team that has a quarterback.
Yes.
You got to. And so he understands that. So I understand him requesting his trade. I knew that was going to happen, especially after the quarterback carousel that he's had to deal with, for how many years now?
Well, I think Myles came in 2017?
I mean, ain't no telling how many quarterbacks he's had to deal with, and now, it's come to a head. You know what? I don't have that many more years left. I need to go somewhere where I can contend for a Super Bowl. I gave Cleveland all I can to this point.
Yeah.
Be fair to me and allow me to achieve a childhood dream of having a chance at a goddamn Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Ocho, he's going to command 2 first rounders.
Yes, sir.
Probably more, maybe even a player. Mm-hmm. You see what Seattle got for Russell Wilson.
Yes, sir.
They got players, 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and a third.
Right.
You look at some of the other transactions that have happened. Myles Garrett is an apex. He's an alpha. He's an all-pro. A guy that's had 14 sacks at least the last 4 seasons. He's had double-digit sacks, I think, 6 of the last 7 seasons. And so we know what he represents. But at some point in time, it's just not enough.
Right.
And he's eligible for a contract extension.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Bring it up? Oh, okay. I guess I need to bring it up. Just, you guys couldn't hear me, so sorry about that. Minnesota, you hear the 49ers, potentially the Rams. Ooh. You hear the Lions. You hear potentially the Packers. You hear some of the teams. Because here's the thing.
Right.
If I'm Cleveland, I'm getting him out of the AFC.
Oh, so there's no chance. There's no chance. Wait a minute. Stay with me real quick. We have Trey Henderson, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's ability to be able to pay him what he's worth.
Right.
The value that he can get on the open market.
Right.
Is there any chance you see Myles Garrett being traded into division right to Cincinnati?
Hell no.
Okay.
I'm getting him out of the AFC. What
okay,
I'm
just asking.
Damn
I'm just
the
asking.
division. I'm getting him out of the AFC.
Okay.
I don't want to run the risk of having to see him. He's going to Green Bay. Detroit, Green Bay, 49ers. Hey, give me your best offer.
Right. Okay.
Somebody give me your best offer.
Right.
Because now look, if somebody in the AFC gives me 2-3 first rounders,
right,
I ain't got no choice.
Exactly.
But I think Detroit pairing him with Aiden Hutchinson. Remember, Ocho,
that's not
how
fair.
Many points they gave up in the playoff game. We saw this there were some times that they were giving up a bunch of points, but their offense was outscoring. You can't always be reliant on your offense to outscore people.
Right.
You see the 49ers. They bring back Robert Saleh. We know he loves to attack the quarterback. Can you imagine Bosa on one side, Myles Garrett on the other side,
fair.
with Warner in the middle?
That's not fair.
And so that's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be a little difficult because they've got to pay the quarterback per.
Right.
Now, you hear reports they're trying to structure a deal, something like 3 years, $40 million a year.
Right.
That's between
that's
him
fair.
and his agent.
That's fair.
They're going to be willing to settle for that. But for me, Myles Garrett requesting a trade just goes to show you money can't buy you happiness.
No.
Myles Garrett is one of the highest paid defensive ends.
Yes, sir.
You get tired of losing.
No matter how much you're making.
You can tell people that say, oh, I'll just be happy and complacent and content.
No, you wouldn't.
That's easy to say because you don't win.
Yeah.
When you want to win and you, what the hell you think? Grego, what's up, bro? What's up, bro?
Greg, what's up, baby? You good?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Mornings at Bomarito's training.
Oh yeah.
You still? What you training for?
I'm not training for nothing. I'm not training for nothing. We used to work out together in Miami.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, years ago, Bomarito.
A long time ago.
We're joined by Greg Olsen, one of the great play-by-play guys. Actually, your color. You're not play-by-play. Your color. One of the great color guys, young, up and coming. Let me ask you this. Forget football. What's been the biggest thing from you to do? How were you able to become so good, so quick at doing this job, Greg?
You know, it's funny when people ask me about it, you know, there's actually a lot of lessons that I learned, you know, from playing, right?
Okay.
Just routine, preparation. Every Monday is a Monday. Every Tuesday is a Tuesday. And leaning into a lot of those things throughout the course of the week as a player, I didn't know any different, right? So when they said, all right, we got a game next Sunday and you're going to call it, I just fell back to what I knew, which is study the game. I love watching football. I love asking questions. And you have to be very willing to be like, you know what, I don't know a lot about this. I'm going to find people who really know it, and I'm going to pick their brain. I'm going to talk to great coaches. I'm going to talk to front office guys. I'm going to talk to, you know, defensive coordinators. How do you put together your blitz package? Learn as many different aspects of the game. Organize it in your mind. Organize your thoughts. And then just lay out the game, stay with the game, follow it, and try to do it in a way that is interesting, it's insightful, and try to add value. And I'm still learning. I don't pretend to know it all, but I just love learning the craft of calling the games. And it's been a great transition for me since I'm done playing.
Listen, I've watched you transition obviously from playing the game to doing play-by-play or color commentary, like coaches said. Obviously, your discipline and your work ethic has allowed you to do so. Now, I'm thinking about someone in my position who has never done anything of that magnitude. Is it possible in any way that I could probably learn, if I could minimize my cursing a little bit, I can learn to do color commentary, or is that something you think I should stay away from?
No, I think anybody can learn it, right? So the inherent, you know, the underlying foundation of all of it is guys who love football, guys who want to continue to learn it, guys who want to continue to stay up with the trends and follow it and dive into it. Anybody can do it, right? Then it's just communicating it in a little bit of a different setting.
Right.
Simplicity.
And that was probably the biggest transition for me. I'm a talker. I love conversation. I could sit here with you two for 3 hours and we could talk about whatever. But that's not the broadcast. We have commercial breaks. We have referees. We have game breaks, and you get 15 seconds. That was probably the biggest thing, is just the tempo and kind of the rhythm of the broadcast. Right. Everyone has a lot to say. Can you say a little bit, make an impact, but also not overdo it? I think that's still the balance that I'm still trying to find.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing for me is that what I've noticed is you're talking about it as it's happening versus talking about something that's already happened or something that you perceive to happen. So like pregame, postgame is entirely different than doing color because you're talking as it's happening.
Yeah, and I think the battle, at least the way I try to do it, is I try not to tell you what you're seeing.
Right.
Because you already see it, right? Like, I don't want to narrate the replay.
Okay.
I don't want to just talk over what you're already seeing. Because I think to most fans nowadays are very educated. People are listening. They're listening to shows. They're listening to weekly and weekend stuff. Tell them why they're seeing it. Maybe take their eyes away from the ball. What led to this play being really successful?
Right.
What led to this read or this wide receiver route? Like, it was a pick, but did the receiver not get flat enough on his inside break and dig route? Or take people into the why, the thought process. That's the part I enjoy the most. Everyone can see it was a nice catch.
Right.
Everyone can see it was a sack. Why?
Right.
Tell us why and what the counter is going forward. That's the game that I think is the fun part to lay out.
There have been a lot of conversations. You did a great thing. I mean, your first couple of years in, you're calling the Super Bowl. And you in the Super Bowl and you called it exquisite. excellent game. Chiefs, 49ers. Tom comes in. Obviously, Tom's the number one. But knowing you the way I know you and the competitor, you want to be back in that number. You want to call Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You want to call NFC, AFC championship game.
Yeah, and again, your first question where I said so many of the lessons that I put into the broadcast center are things that were from my playing days. It was no different than as a player. You weren't just content to be on the roster.
Hell
you
no.
wanted to be the starter.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't just content to be a starter. You wanted to be a Pro Bowler. There was always something else, and that's the same thing now to take into broadcast. And again, I'm always clear, like, me and Tom have a really good relationship. We've gotten to know each other. There's no personal animosity. He's not my enemy. Like, and I said this, him being good doesn't not make me good, and him being bad doesn't make me better. Like, it's not connected. Like, I want to inherently just be good at it. I want to call top games. I want to chase the biggest games, the biggest audiences, and bring out the biggest moments of the game. I want to be the voice of that. That doesn't mean I don't like him. I don't hate him. My relationship with Fox is great. My relationship with Tom and Kevin and Aaron Andrews is great. But I want to get back to that seat that I was in, and that's not a personal thing. That's just the way it works.
Right. Matter of fact, speaking of seats,
Appreciate you.
I don't know who I need to talk to, but I'm sure the powers might be that see this. I want to do color commentary and play-by-play this year.
Well, there you go.
Okay, I'm putting it out there.
Great,
So good to
appreciate
see
it.
you.
Best of luck,
Appreciate
man.
you calling me out,
Thank
man.
you,
This was fun.
Appreciate you.
Good to see you, baby. Good to see you, boss. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Chase it, man.
I got you.
All right.
Color commentary coming up.
Yes. No.
No? Why?
Because it's ad lib. It's right there in the moment. You got to call as you see
I
it.
like
not
that.
something that's already happened.
You!
What's up, bro? How you
Mike, what's
doing?
up, what? They do, what? You good?
Joining us now, Nightcap, Michael Pittman Jr.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm fumbling around here. Here we go.
Bro, how you doing?
Good.
You good?
Appreciate y'all.
Congratulations on a great season individually, not the season that you wanted to have team-wise. What do you guys need to do in order to have success where you're in the playoffs or you're contending for a championship?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really, really tough question, but
Wait. Be honest. Don't be politically correct.
right.
Not here.
okay.
Be straight up, like we in the
Okay.
barbershop now.
Yeah. all right. So we have to have those tough conversations as, as men, right?
Yes, sir.
And we need to call guys up, right? Like, just like not like calling them out, like just like call them up to like our
We need
standard.
more. We expect more.
Yeah, and that starts with everybody. Like, that starts with me. That starts with every single person. And we just got to find ways to close that gap, because there's so many games that like,
You were close.
just like we were so close and we just let it slip.
Now I got a question. Now you speak about that gap, right? And obviously everyone's goal at the beginning of the season is you want to compete to be in San Francisco this year coming up, next year, obviously.
Yeah.
What gaps do you think need to be filled in from an acquisition standpoint, offensively or defensively, that can help you guys get to that end goal?
Honestly, I think that we have a lot of our core guys.
Right.
And like, before I can focus on anybody else, like, I got to focus on everything that I got to do. Like, I didn't have my best season. I mean, now there are some things that happened, but just like focusing like all on myself, like, I have to do things to produce in any type of situation, injury, like just like guys are like out there hurt too. So,
Right.
So,
Okay.
There was a lot made of the situation. I think it was the Texans game. Your quarterback scrambled. He ended up taking himself out of the game. I guess there was a team meeting. There were conversations that were had. The coach ended up benching him for a game, not a week. He got benched one game, a couple of games, and then I think Flacco filled in or whomever came in for him. What was those conversations like? Because I'm telling you, as a player that has been in a locker room, has been a leader, that's frowned upon when we feel a guy left us out there to try. Because the one thing is, it's kind of like it's nothing compared to the military. So military folks, don't get me wrong. But it's like we leave no man behind. It's that we're out here together, we're going to fight together, we're going to win together, we're going to lose together. But the one thing we're not going to do is leave the other guys behind. What was that conversation that you had to have with your quarterback? Because I believe he's going to be there for an extended period of time, Michael Pittman Jr. And you guys are going to need him.
Yeah, we actually had all of our team, leaders from every single position group, and we kind of had an hour-long meeting, And we talked about everything. Like, it wasn't just centered around that. Like, it was everybody. But I think that was a good learning experience for him to know that that is not the standard and that he can't do that and stuff like that. So it's all just learning. And I think that he handled that period of time well. Because everybody was like crashing on him, right? So we saw him show up earlier. We saw him put in more work and like kind of do the things necessary to kind of earn everybody's trust back.
I like that. Did you notice the difference from that time that before that to the time that happened to after that? Did you notice a noticeable improvement in him?
Absolutely. Like from just after that benching, I felt like he came out and he really was playing a lot better.
You know, I got a question. People at home, people that are watching, we always get to see the finished product, right? The finished product of a player and what they do. You get to see them on Sundays. What do you think you need to work on as far as your game is concerned and how you can better being a better receiver? Because I know you're not where you want to be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that my next step is being able to recognize coverage at a level that a quarterback can, right? Because I can see coverage, but I see half of the field,
right?
And I'm not as good as a Patrick Mahomes,
right?
Obviously, because he can read the entire field and do it quickly. So just getting to that point.
Yeah. But anytime before you go, anytime if you get to that point, the game slows down tremendously.
Yeah.
No matter how many bluffs, no matter how many disguises they do, you already know what's coming based off tendencies and down and distance. But when you get to that point, boy, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. When you go outside and you line up, are you looking across the field at the other side to see what's going on over there?
No, well, I'm really focused on corner,
safety.
Nickel, safety.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And then if it's corner, backer, safety, and if it's nickel, dime, or if that backers are mugged up, it's going to be pressure. But rarely do I ever get to scan the whole field because I'm thinking about, hey, I'm going to give him this move here, and if he brings his hands up, I'm going to do this. If that doesn't work, then I got to do that.
Right.
So yeah.
Let me ask you a question. We broke it down, down and distance, area of the field, for who they have on the field, and it would dictate kind of the coverage. Now, they might switch it up.
Oh, yeah.
But down in distance, where we on the field, we know 85% of the time they like to run this. Down in distance, area of the field, where we are, we backed up. We at midfield. We're in plus territory. We're in the red zone.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little bit of an insight. Now, I was different because I learned as a tight end because I'm looking at fronts. They're going to play certain fronts. They're going to play certain coverages behind certain fronts.
Yeah.
Now, you're not really looking at that. So now if you take a look back okay, they got 4 down linemen, okay, blah, blah, blah. They're playing nickel, 4-2-5, okay. They're playing dime, they're playing 4-1-6, okay. It'll give you a tip. It'll give you a heads up of what the potential is. Not always, don't go chasing ghosts, but you'll have that extra step. And sometime a half an inch is all it takes between you being open or you being close.
That's all it is, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So what you're doing down for the Super Bowl, what are you promoting?
Yeah, so I'm here with Toyota. I've actually been working with them for a whole year now.
Okay.
So we're down here supporting the future generation of athletes. And then they also have something for fans here at the Super Bowl experience where they can go sit in cars with team Toyota athletes. So it's a really cool deal.
That's dope.
Right.
That's dope.
Hey, Michael, appreciate you. Tell your dad I say hello.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Glad you're doing well, man. Congratulations. Continued success.
Oh, yeah.
And good luck next year, man. Hey, better when the Colts are in the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.